Hey makers, this is Praveen and I welcome you all to my Power BI Beginner Step-by-Step tutorial series. You are watching third episode of this series and today I am going to talk about how you can clean your data in the world of Power BI. To clean the data in the Power BI, we can use the Power Query. Now, in today's episode, I am going to explore you out overall Power Query journey from the scratch. We will be talking about the different things which we can perform with the help of Power Query. So you will get an overall idea that how you can clean up your data before proceeding for the report development process. So without further delay, let's get started and deep dive more into that. But before that, if you haven't followed me on my Twitter and Instagram so far, do follow me because these are the platform where I'm uploading short content on Power Platform. And if you want to watch out the previous episode of this series, the links are available in the description box. Do check it out over there. So first of all, let me open up the same Power BI file which we have opened in our previous session. So in class number 2, we have basically loaded the different data from the CSV and Excel sources. Now in this episode, we are going to perform our transformation on top of that. So let's get started. To transform the data inside the Power BI or to clean up the data in the Power BI, we have Power Query option available. And for that, you just need to go to the home option and need to simply click on transform data option over here. Or you can simply click on this arrow and click on transform data. Once you open that up, it will just open up the separate window like this. Now over here, you can see the different queries that we have loaded in our previous session. Now you can see that each of the query that I am clicking over here on the left hand side, it is having the different applied steps over here on the right hand side. Now let's do some sort of transformation over here. So first of all, let me rename some of the table over here from this left navigation. So let's say for an example, over here I have one table called Geo. Now instead of Geo, I just want to rename that to Geography. So what I'm doing here is I'm simply clicking on this and let me just rename this table a little bit. So I'm just renaming this and this is how it looks like now. Similar way, let me rename couple of tables over here. Like in manufacturer, you can see the name is small letters, right? Instead of that, let me just make it a proper meaningful name over here for manufacturer. Apart from that, this product underscore table, let me just provide a proper name so users can understand it better fashion. So I'm just making it simply like a product. Okay, so this is how you can simply rename your couple of things inside the Power Query. And last, we are having the international sales. So let me just rename this as well a little bit. Let me just add a space in between the wording over here and rename it out. Okay, so first I just rename our tables a proper a little bit so that it's just giving us the meaningful information. All right, now as a next step, what I want to perform here is I want to see and fill out some empty values which is available underneath my product table. So you can see here the product table has one column called category, and over here you can see there are some categories over here like mix and couple of values are null, right? Now there is one beautiful option available inside the world of Power Query which is fill down. So let's say for an example, I'm just selecting this particular column. Let's go to the transform option over here and there is an option called fill. And there are two options, fill down and fill up. Now what exactly it does, let me just hover over it a little bit so you can understand it better. So when you hover on the down option, you know, it is showing you one of the option over here that basically it fill down the cells value. So let's say for an example, you can see couple of null values are here, right? So you can see this null values will be replaced by the upper word which is mix. So everywhere it will return as a mix. And same way, let's say after rural, couple of them are null, right? So after that it just replace it with the rural. Okay, so same way it will just do here like urban. So it will just replace this null value with the urban. Okay, so basically this option, if you read out the syntax, it basically filled down the value with the value which is available in the upper cell. Okay, so let me just use this option fill down, and if you just observe this, you know 46 is rural, so after that you will be able to see rural. Okay, let's see. I'm just using fill down option, and you can see it just available and it just replaced this value. And if you look at the thing after 46, you can see rural, and after say that urban, and it just remove that null value with this value. So fill down option is useful for that purpose. And you can see that whenever you perform any operation in the Power Query with the help of user interface over here, you can always see those applied steps to be available on the right hand side over here inside your Power Query window. So you can see you perform fill down, and that fill down is also added over here. Again, Power Query is using M language behind the scene in order to perform all these steps. So now even at this point, if you just click on your home option and click on advanced editor, you can also see the same steps added over here. So you don't need to know about the M language, but this is what behind the scene it does for you over there. Okay, so we just perform fill down operation over here on the category option. Now let me just do one more transformation over here. And why we are doing all this transformation? Because once we prepare our report or once we load our data, it should be cleaned up enough so we can build the visualization on top of that. That's why we are doing all this transformation. Now in this product table itself, you can see I have one more column called product, and it has this kind of word, right? It has this kind of pipeline. Now I just wanted to split this product, and it's another value which is available over here as a segment. So let me do one thing. You can simply click on this one, and you will be having an option split columns, and split columns has option by delimiter. So let's choose this option split by delimiter. And over here, what's my separator? If you observe this string, this pipeline is something which is my separator. So in here, you can just provide the word pipeline over here. Okay, and just click on OK. And as soon as you do that, it just divided into two different part over here. You can see in the first part I can see this product, and another one I can see this another value available over here. Now let me just rename these columns a little bit over here. So the first column I just wanted to have it as like a product. So let me just rename this one. I mean, to rename, it's a simple thing. Double click on the cell and just provide the name product. And same way over here as well, double click on that, and for that I just want to provide the name as a segment. So I'm just providing the product and segment this kind of name. And now you can see as soon as I rename both of these things over here, on the right hand side in the apply step, it perform each step over here. So you can see the split column that we perform, then we rename the column. Every steps has been captured perfectly over here. So you don't need to do any kind of formula. It's just a user interface, and your data is completely cleaned up over here onto this part. Okay, now let me do couple of more interesting thing over here. Power Query also offers one of the cool AI feature which you can also leverage for your day-to-day activity. Let's say for example, over here I do have this price column, and if you look at this price column, it is in the text format. So you can see it is having USD and then this kind of number, right? Now instead of this, let's say if you just wanted to do some sort of formatting around that, or let's say if you just need this number from this price column, you can simply use couple of AI features over here. And for that, there is one easy thing available. You can simply right click on the column and do add columns from an example. So there is a feature available over here, add column from example. You can use this, or if you don't want to use for specific one, just click on add column, and there is an option available over here as well, column from example. So just click on that and select from all columns. So it will consider all columns to generate the AI based formula. So click on that. And once you do that, over here, it is just opening this kind of column for you. Now over here, you just need to provide your output, that what you need as an end outcome. So let's say out of this price, you just need this number from it. So maybe from this first row, what value you want to retrieve, type over here. So I'm just typing 412.13 from this overall value. And once you write this out, it is just showing you the suggestion as well over here like this. So AI just try to identify that from this overall selection of the column, what exact value you want over here. And basically according to that, behind the scene, it will generate the formula accordingly. Okay, I'm happy with this output. I'm double click on this and rename my column to MSRP and click on OK. And as soon as you do that, this column is perfectly created over here, and you can see on the right hand side it just inserted a step as well over here. And even if you want to look it out, like what formula does that AI has used, you can simply go to the advanced editor and check it out, that okay, it just created this particular column MSRP, and it just used the price after the space, this kind of value, it just take it over there for yourself. Okay, so we just created this column. Now this is the decimal number, right? So let me just rename, let me just convert into some sort of decimal value over here. So I'm just converting into this kind of fixed decimal value, and again it's a dollar value. So I just wanted to make it like this. Click on this and convert into the decimal number, and it basically converted into this decimal value over here as a summary. Okay, so let it to be happen. Right now, let me do one more thing over here. Let's say this is like MSRP column. Now let's say from this price column, I also want to retrieve my currency as well separately. Okay, so let me do one more thing. Right click on this same column, and let me just do this way, add column from example. And now in this case, let me provide the column name as a currency, and in currency what value you want to retrieve. So let's say from here you just need your USD. So maybe just type here like a USD, and it is just showing you the value into this fashion. Alright, click on OK, and your currency column also been created perfectly over here for yourself. Okay, now let me do one more interesting thing here. So we just converted this price column into this MSRP and currency one. Okay, now let's say if you don't need this column anymore else for your future purpose, you can simply remove it as well. So I'm just removing this column from here, and this is how the transformation looks like. Alright, now let's do one more level up from here. Again, so far if you haven't performed this so far, just pause for a moment and finish up to this step, because in future classes we are going to use the same reference, because next class is my relationship class where we are going to establish the relationship between the tables and all. And similarly in the future we are going to create DAX expression, we are going to create report. So make sure all of this transformation you can do perfectly along with me over here with this particular class. Again, if you just want to download the full class material, download link is also available in the description box, so do check it out over there. Now I have finished the transformation for my product table. Now let me go one more level up from here, and this time let me rename, do couple of things for my geography column over here. So if you look at our geography table over here, you can see couple of columns are very incorrectly settled over here, right? And you can see, look at this first two rows as well, right? It looks very unrealistic. So maybe let me just remove these first two rows from here, as well as in the third row I can see all these header like this fashion, right? So let me make this row number 3 as a header, and for that we will do simply Power Query transformation, nothing like a hard over there. Okay, so first of all what we will do here is simply, there is an option available over here called remove rows option, and remove rows has one option called remove top rows. Let's select that. Once you do that, let's just provide remove first 2 rows, and as soon as we do that, you can see 2 rows from the top has been deleted perfectly. Now over here, this is what the header of the table. So let me make this first row as a header, and for that there is an option available over here that use first row as a header underneath home table. So let's click on that, use first row as header, and you can see it transform it perfectly, zip, city, state, region, district and country. Right, now let me do one more interesting thing. Over here you can see zip code is a number column. Instead of that, let me just make it as a simple text column over here. So I'm just making over here as a text column, and let's do that. And it is just asking you this pop-up that okay, you can lose some data or something like that. So just click on replace current, and that's it. And your zip code is also converted into the text column like this. Okay, so at geographical level, just perform this transformation over here. Now let's do some transformation for our next table. But again, if you haven't performed it so far, pause for a moment and perform this activity for geographical table. Now let's do for manufacturer table. So manufacturer, you can see the data is looking like this. You can see almost like last 3 rows are like a null value, right? So let's clean up this data. So I just wanted to remove this last row first. So I'm just making remove bottom rows and let me make it like a 3. So let us remove first 3 tabs from here. Okay. After that, we are having like a manufacturing ID, manufacturer and logo, and its values over here spanned across different column, right? So you can see almost 14 values are there, but it is good if you just convert this to a proper table structure. So we can use one transform property. So transform is a property which is useful to make this row structure to column. So these 3 now will become a column and rest of the things will become your row. Okay, and to do that, click on transform option from here and basically click on transpose. As soon as you do transpose, it just converted the value like this, and you can see this is your manufacturer ID, manufacturer and logo, and this looks more promising, isn't it? Right, now we will just make it this first row as a header simply. So let's select the table and go to the home option and make use first row as header. So I'm just making this over here, and this is now converting into proper header structure like this. Now we will do some append operation over here inside the Power Query as well. So we know that we are having this sales table and international sales table. Now I want to just append this sales data together in one sales table. So I can simply select the sales table over here and let's append the data to each other. For that, I'm just using append queries. And when you do use append queries, it is just providing you the option to choose which table you want to append with. So I just want to append my sales with international sales and click on OK. And as soon as you do that, it is just appending these 2 tables together over here like this. Alright. Now, let me do couple of transformation over here as well. So first of all, in sales table, let me just add one conditional column over here for myself. And in this conditional column, first of all, I'm going to add a condition that if my country column has any value or not, if it is equal to null, then I just want to add a value as USA. Otherwise, I just want to make the value that it already has over there. So over here in the else part, I will just select a column over there, and over here I will just make it like a country. Okay, and I'm just making like a country name like this. Okay, so I'm just wanted to create one custom column over here for my country column. So if it is blank value, it just replace with the USA. Otherwise, it will just have that appropriate country name for itself. So let's click on that, and this is how it looks like, that country column. Okay. Now I just want to do some more transformation over here. Let me remove now this unwanted country column that we have here. So it will not create any confusion. So I'm just right clicking on that and I'm just removing that column over here. So right click on that and click on simply remove. So it just remove that thing over there. And now we are having this revenue column available over here. Alright. Now this revenue column is something, let me just convert it into currency column. So I'm just converting it to fixed decimal number and it will just fix that out. So let me to be 2 and all good. Alright. And now let's just verify this country name, it has a proper values over there or not. And for that, just click on this arrow and click on load more to just check it out if it has all the country names values properly over there or not. So let it to be done and let's see how it looks like. So it's just loading the things and let's see what unique country value we are having. So yeah, we are having all the country value perfectly over here. So looks good to me. Now let's load this data over there. But before that, let me talk about one more interesting feature. Recently, we just appended our sales and international sales data, which means that All our international sales values are already there into sales table. So unnecessarily we do not need to load this table when we are loading the data into Power BI. For that, we can simply right click on that and turn off the enable load. So it will not just load that data inside the Power BI, and it just converted into this kind of italic letters over here. And now let's click on close and apply, and this will basically load our data inside our Power BI report. And now on top of that, we will start exploring the relationship, building the report and those things in detail. Okay, so let it to be loaded. It will take few moments in order to load this data inside the Power BI. So here I am, and all my data perfectly loaded inside the world of Power BI over here. You can see on the right hand side 4 tables are perfectly loaded over here. Now let's save the report, and now let's wait for the next class where we will talk about relationship in depth over here. Alright, so hope this video helps you and values your time. If so, hit thumbs up and subscribe my channel. Now it's a quiz time. You just need to answer your question in the comment section and test your knowledge that how much you explored from this particular session. So the first question from this class is, what action you should take to make your query names more meaningful into Power BI? Option A, remove queries. Option B, rename columns. Option C, hide the queries. Option D, export the queries. It's a very easy one. You can answer it out. Second question is, which features help you to copy the value from the above cell into the empty cells? Remember the first use case? Option A, group by. Option B, fill down. Option C, appended queries. Option D, split columns. Question 3. When splitting a column that contains a pipeline symbol between the two values, which option should you use? Option A, merge columns. Option B, replace values. Option C, split columns by delimiter. Option D, group rows. Question number 4. After performing fill down, what happens to the empty cells in the column? Option A, they are deleted. Option B, they are filled with the next value. They are filled with the previous non-empty value. Option D, they are replaced with blank text. And the last question in this quiz is, why is it important to perform operations like renaming queries, filling missing values, and splitting the columns before loading the data into Power BI? Option A, to make visualization faster. B, to reduce the Power BI licensing cost. C, to ensure clean, structured and analyzable data. And option D, to limit the data for the front-end user. What would be the correct answer? Give your answer in the comment section and test your knowledge over there. If you are for the first time to my channel, make sure you hit subscribe and press the bell notification to never miss any update from me. If you are looking from any live training or consultation from me, you can always visit our website www.powerplatformtrainings.com. All the links for subscribing as well as course content and material as well as websites are available in the description box. Do check it out over there. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the next session with some amazing content. Till then, have a great day. Goodbye.